Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. I have the all-new Toyota Corolla Cross in the hybrid version right here, and I like it to the point where I can give you 5 reasons why I think it's actually a better buy than the RAV4 Hybrid. Let's go. Welcome back. So why do I believe that the Corolla Cross Hybrid is a better buy than the RAV4 Hybrid? Well, I'm going to give you 5 reasons to be exact. But you have to also remember that we currently own a RAV4 Hybrid as well as a RAV4 Prime. So we actually know RAV4s really well, but there are some advantages and disadvantages of owning a RAV4 compared to Corolla Cross, and those are things I want to highlight. The first one might surprise you, and that is the Corolla Cross seems to be slightly better made than the RAV4. As you may or may not know, the RAV4 hybrids are built in Ontario at the Canadian factory as well as in Kentucky factory in the US. But the RAV4 Prime that I also own is built in Japan. But in this case, I'm going to do a comparison of the RAV4 Hybrid that's built in Ontario, Canada to this one, which is built in a brand new factory in Huntsville, Alabama, which is a joint venture factory between Mazda and Toyota. And I can tell you that by looking at some of the quality gaps and alignment, that this one seems to be slightly better than the Canadian-built RAV4 Hybrid. And how do I know that? Well, I'm going to do my usual gap and alignment check here. And it's only about 3.0 millimeter here, 3.2 millimeter. But it's also perfectly aligned between here and here. And there's absolutely no defect or error in terms of the panel fit. And if you look here, it's also about 3.3 millimeters and 3.1 millimeter. So the gaps are really tight. A little bit better than the RAV4 Hybrid that we checked the last couple of times, although I will admit the two are pretty close. What about the paint job? The paint jobs, I would say it's about the same as a RAV4, but it is very good with very little orange peel, good gloss, and overall very good surface finish all the way. Now let's do a quick paint thickness check to see how that goes. So I got the paint thickness gauge right here, which measures the total amount of paint on top of the bare metal. So that includes all of the layers of paint and the clear coat and undercoat as well. And you want the paint thickness to be between 100 to 180 microns. The thicker the better, obviously, for durability purposes, although the thickness of the paint has nothing to do with the quality of the paint. So let's see how thick the paint is on the Corolla Cross. 184 microns on the hood, 174 microns on the front fender, 171 here, and let's do one more on the roof. 336 microns. This one is more than twice the thickness of this paint because this has the additional black roof, which is painted on top of the original paint, so that's why it's also thick. Let's do one more check here in the back door. 185 microns. So what is really interesting about this paint thickness that I'm finding out is that it is quite a bit thicker than any other Toyota products. Usually Toyota products are between 100 to 150 microns, averaging about 110 to 120 at the most. But right here in the Corolla Cross, we're seeing the neighborhood of 170 to 180 microns, which is substantially thicker than any other Toyota products, including the RAV4. The RAV4 Hybrid, which I measured just a couple of weeks ago, was around 110 microns. So for whatever reason, they have a thicker paint and more paint on this Corolla Cross than other Toyota products, even compared to a RAV4 Hybrid, which is obviously a good news because thicker the paint, the more it's going to last. And if you have to ever make some paint corrections in the future and do some polishing or waxing, you don't have to worry about taking too much of the paint off. So overall, I'm going to say the panel fit, panel alignment, and especially the paint thickness on this Corolla Cross Hybrid is better than RAV4 Hybrid. What about the interior quality? Well, I have been doing my usual punch test, trying to see if I can make something loose and rattle. But no, everything is absolutely solid. I haven't heard any squeaks or rattle when I'm driving. And all the fit of the parts and alignment looks really good. Everything is well made, and I couldn't find any kind of faults or defects in this vehicle. Although I'd admit that even though this is a soft plastic, it does look a little bit cheap because it's too much plastic here. And this is a hard plastic here as well. So design aside, in terms of overall quality, the interior is excellent as well. The second reason why the Corolla Cross Hybrid might be a better car for you than a RAV4 Hybrid is because it is the perfect size. My wife owns a RAV4 Prime. We also own a RAV4 Hybrid. So we're very familiar with it, but we also owned many RAV4s in the past. And over the years, RAV4 got bigger and bigger to the point where it's almost like a midsize compared to the Corolla Cross, which retains Just the perfect size from my opinion. So actually this one is right in the middle between the original RAV4 size and the current RAV4 size. And while perhaps the size doesn't matter to most of you guys, for us who live in busy traffic areas like Vancouver, looking for parking space, navigating busy traffic, sometimes even the RAV4 feels a little bit too big. For many of us who do not need big SUV, I think the Corolla Cross Hybrid is just the perfect size. The third reason why I really like the Corolla Cross Hybrid, even when compared to RAV4, is because it offers better value overall, more features at a less cost. In fact, it starts a very attractive $33,985 here in Canada, or $27,970 in the US. Either way, the price is cheaper than RAV4. And also in the Corolla Cross Hybrid, you get all-wheel drive standard, which isn't the case with the RAV4. So for feature, dollar for dollar, I think Corolla Cross Hybrid provides better value. The fourth reason why this is a better buy than the RAV4 is that RAV4 is getting a little bit outdated. It's beginning to show its age and is due for an update sometime next year. But this one, the Corolla Cross Hybrid, has the latest safety and technology equipment, including Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, which has things like pedestrian detection, compared to RAV4, which has Safety Sense 2.5. So all the equipment and the features in the Corolla Cross is a little bit more up to date compared to RAV4, especially in the area of safety equipment, which I think is really important. The fifth and the final reason why the Corolla Cross Hybrid could be considered a better buy than a RAV4 is because it's actually more nimble and a bit more fun to drive than the RAV4, which once again suffers from big size, and therefore it tends to be a little bit overwhelming when you take twisty corners and turns. But this one, because it's smaller, it's based on a slightly stiffer chassis, and it's a little bit more agile. Granted, both cars, the RAV4 and the Corolla Cross Hybrid, are not all that sporty, and if you're looking for something that's truly fun to drive, these aren't the right cars for you. But it is very quiet, extremely smooth on the highway and also in city roads. And the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 196 horsepower provides sufficient acceleration and sufficient performance. But in any case, if you compare this to the RAV4, I'm finding this one to be a little bit more nimble, a bit more agile. And if I make a very fast turn like this, it just provides a little bit more better feedback from the road. You're not as isolated, and overall you get a little bit more feedback. So even though both RAV4 and Corolla Cross are not sporty by any means, I do think that this one is a little bit more fun to drive. So believe me, coming from a person who actually owns 2 RAV4s and have owned many RAV4s in the past, I really do think the Corolla Cross is a perfect size, it's the right pricing, and offers a better value than the current RAV4. In fact, in terms of sizing, in terms of costing, this is what the RAV4 should be. It's just that over the years, everyone is asking for bigger SUV, so RAV4 has become so large. I really do like the Corolla Cross Hybrid. It's very efficient and perhaps the perfect small city SUV for most of you. If you like my video, I would appreciate if you can make a comment, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so, would you kindly subscribe to my channel. But until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.